Fans of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers held their breath Saturday. The team down 26-27 against Montreal. Then suddenly, Mother Nature kicked in and whipped up a chance to claim the game. And with just seconds remaining, kicker Sergio Castillo pulled off a 51-yard field goal.
A second chance, thanks to the weather gods smiling on Winnipeg. Low snap. Castillo steps into it. It's got the leg. It's good. The Bombers walk it off to win the West.
It's official, Marshall. God is a Bombers fan.
That's what it sounded like on TSN this weekend. The Blue Bombers now sitting in the top spot for the West Division and hosting the West Final. Sergio Castillo, the person who made that kick, joins us on the line now. Sergio, welcome to the program. Hello.
Good evening or good afternoon. I appreciate you guys, first of all, just having me on air. And, it's been a crazy, roller coaster of emotions the past, 24, 36 hours since the game. So it's finally settling in of what just happened, because a lot of us are still in awe of how the game ended. So, but yeah, we're happy with our result.
I'm sure a lot of folks are messaging you and reposting that video showing what happened there. We'll talk about how you got there, but do you know what happened in that moment? Did it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you now?
I mean, and now it does, but it's just I go back to the 61 that I missed, and I thought the game was over. And there's I kicked the ball and I hit as pure as it can be. But it was just a super windy, rowdy day. Jamison, my punter, and I, we were talking earlier in the game, and we're like, this is the hardest game we've ever had to play in terms of wind, because we didn't know where the wind was going. Normally, when you go into a game, I know if I'm going one way, I can kick left center, and I'll vice versa. I'll go the other way. I'll aim right center. But the wind was just going in a constant circle, and we didn't know where it was going. And so when I hit the 61, I really thought it was over. And by the time I walked to the kicking net, Tanner and Osher are like, "Sarge, get ready. We have another shot." I'm like, "There's just no way." And then when I see that, there's a timeout, they punt, I'm like, holy moly, we do have another shot. And the crazy thing is, from a mental aspect, I go from a 61 to a 51. I'm like, oh, this is a lot shorter now.
Right.
Right. The goalposts look a little bit bigger. Right. So, I was just very grateful that we got another chance. It was just, I don't know. You had to be there to experience it, just with the wind, the leaves circling around, the rain. It was just, it was a weird, amazing night for sure.
Do you know what it felt like in that moment? Because you made the second kick, you win the game, the crowd goes wild. Even people who are watching on the television and streaming it also went wild, because everyone's been talking about it. What were you feeling then?
Now it's just, the fact that it's all coming together, right? Where it's like we started 0-4, we were 2-6, and then we get on an 8-game winning streak, and then we have a chance to clinch home field advantage against Toronto. And when I missed the 61, I'm thinking, game's over. We're going to have to play next week at home. And then I start thinking about the 2 kicks I missed in Toronto at home, right? And I'm like, if I would have just made one of them, we could have, given ourselves a chance. And then to have another opportunity the way it did and the way it played out. And just the fact that a lot of people don't realize, obviously when the game is over, there's no more, the cameras were off, but the wind literally died as soon as the game was over. So the wind was only going that rowdy for like 3-4 minutes in real time. And, I think Willie Jefferson said it best. It was divine intervention, right? So I'm a big believer. I'm a big faith guy. And as I'm running onto the field, I see the leaves going in circles, and as I run into the field, I try to analyze the wind, right? And I'm like, I don't know where to aim. And this is as I'm jogging on the field. But then I see the rain. And what came to my mind was my favorite Bible verse, which is Galatians 6:9. It says, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for if you don't give up in due time, you'll reap a harvest." And what came to my mind, and mind you, this is all like in a 10-second jog from the sideline to the moment I put my tape down.
Right.
Is we've put in the hard work, right? And what happens after you water a plant? It grows, right? You get your harvest, and I'm like, the rain is coming, so the harvest is coming. The field goal is going to be made. It's already been made. And I asked Jams, I'm like, hey, where do I aim? Because the wind was just going left, right. I don't know where the heck it was going. And Jams was like, just play your natural draw, aim right center. I'm like, all right, because he knows me best. He's my right-hand man. And as I'm taking the steps back, I just see very clear the goalpost, right center it is, and a snap, hold, kick, and here we are now. And now we get to play another West Final at home.
Sergio, the believing in the moment and being in that moment that you're describing is one thing. And I imagine that's a lot of pressure, because when you describe missing the first one, I think is how you characterize it, it's actually bigger than that. When you take like 10 steps back, how do you deal with that mental process? Because I'm not a professional athlete, and in the way that you're describing it, I can already feel in my stomach and in my body the pressure. How do you deal with that?
So I think as a kicker, right? You got to want those moments, right? So I want every game to be a game winner, if you ask me, right? A lot of people don't, right? Because it has them at the edge of their seats. But for me, I want those moments. And I remember it was in the third quarter. They punted, and I'm like, God, give me a game winner. Give me the game winner. And that's when we almost threw that interception, but fortunately hit the ground. I don't know if you recall that play. And then, had the chance for the 61, came up short. And then the fact that, when the span of like a minute and a half, I had to go and kick again. I have this little piece of paper that I have my affirmations. Words of affirmations and they're very short. The first one is 1-for-1 field goal. The second one, it says, Adriana, Jared, and I'm playing for my wife and my son as well, not just for me. The third one says, Luke 12:48, when much is given, much is expected out of you. So if God has given me the responsibility, there's a big responsibility to kick for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That means he's trusting me. So that means you got to trust yourself, Serge. The next one is chingon mindset. In the Mexican slang, Mexican culture, chingon means think big. And I'm like, you know what? Tonight, Serge, you are the best kicker in the CFL, and you're going to prove it tonight. And the last one, it's a quote, and it reads, whether you're ready or not, show up. And before I go out to every kick, before I go out any kick, I read this list in a span of like 10 seconds. I have it on my hip pocket, a little piece of paper that's like, 1 by 1 inch. And so as soon as it said we have another chance, I started going through that list, and more than anything, I was just grateful to having another shot, right, to put us up.
Sergio, fans can both be really encouraging and really challenging at the same time, sometimes back and forth in even one sentence. What do you hope fans, or what would you like fans of the game and of you to know about how you're keeping yourself focused as the stakes get higher?
More than anything, it's just like we have a great leader in Mike O'Shea. And people ask, because I've been in different teams, and people ask, like, why is it so different here? Why has Winnipeg been winning so much? Because, I've been here for 2 out of the 4 Grey Cup appearances, right? And it's just treats the organization like a family, right? My wife and my son come in, they take care of them, right? And it's like that with everybody, right? Miss Osh does a good job taking care of our families, because my family comes up for the summer because my wife's a school teacher back in Texas. And when we're playing away, they take care of us. So that when things are not always going to go the right way, it's normal. We're human beings, but that we appreciate their support through thick and thin, because it hasn't been the season how it didn't start like how we all expected. But if you would have asked us 10 weeks ago, do you think we'd be in first place? We were just, I think, fighting just to get back into the race for the playoff hunt. And look at us now, right? So it's just been, it's been an amazing journey, right? Because by hanging out with the guys, just trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? Like, what can we do better? The fact that there's always been hunger, even after the team has made it to 4 straight Grey Cup appearances, it shows the character of the team.
Sergio, thanks for making space. I'm sure this has been a lot. I appreciate you coming on the program and chatting with us. Do take good care.
Well, appreciate you guys, and y'all have a good one, and see you on November 9th.
November 9th. We'll see you then. Sergio Castillo, kicker for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Bombers host the CFL West Final, as you heard, on November 9th.